Welcome back to Classic Radio Drama Theater. In this episode, we bring you 3 compelling stories, each a journey into a different realm of intrigue, romance, and unwavering faith. We'll delve into a world of dangerous secrets, experience a fleeting romance against a backdrop of impending doom, and witness a missionary's unwavering dedication in the face of adversity. 3 unique stories, 3 unforgettable experiences, all in one episode. First, we enter the shadowy underworld of San Francisco with the Maltese Falcon. A hard-boiled detective finds himself entangled in a web of deceit and murder, all centered around a mysterious, jewel-encrusted bird. But is this legendary falcon all that it seems? And who will ultimately pay the price for its pursuit?
Lux presents Hollywood. The Lux Radio Theater brings you Edward G. Robinson, Gail Patrick, and Laird Cregar in The Maltese Falcon. Ladies and gentlemen, your producer, Mr. Cecil B. DeMille.
Greetings from Hollywood, ladies and gentlemen. Some people like mystery stories because of the intellectual challenge they present. Personally, I'm seldom able to figure out who done it without skipping to the back of the book. But give me a good detective story, and like presidents, bankers, housewives, and chorus girls the country over, I find that my own troubles fold up their tents like the Arabs and silently steal away. Tonight we point with pride to a triumph of the art, the Dashiell Hammett classic, The Maltese Falcon, brought to us by 3 of our favorite stars, Edward G. Robinson, Gail Patrick, and Laird Cregar. The Warner Brothers screenplay was masterfully written and directed by John Huston, who comes by his talent naturally because he's Walter Huston's son. For the next hour, we'll follow the eerie trail of this fabulous falcon, which is coveted by many people to their great ill fortune and to the great ill health of a few. At 2 o'clock in the morning, the city of San Francisco lies sleeping under a blanket of fog. Along a lonely street, a man walks slowly, his footsteps ringing hollowly against the wet pavement. He passes a deserted alley and stops. The man turns and peers for a long time into the shadows. Suddenly, one of the shadows moves. The man stumbles backward. His hands reach out to shield his body.
All right, Spade, open up. We know you're in there, Spade. Come on.
Who is it?
It's Dundee and Playhouse. I want to speak to you.
Come in, Lieutenant. Nice time to make a call.
Yeah.
4 in the morning. Or did your watch stop?
We don't have any hours on the force, Spade. Got a couple of questions to ask you.
Sure. Hi, Tom.
Hello, Sam. What do you know about this killing, Spade?
Very little.
Archer was your partner, wasn't he?
That's right.
Spade and Archer, private detectives. I guess you'll have to change that name.
Yeah. From now on, it's just Sam Spade.
Yeah. You don't seem very broken up over this, Spade. Miles Archer gets shot dead 2 hours ago, and you toss it off like a scotch and soda.
Oh, excuse me. Will you have one, Lieutenant?
No, I won't.
Okay. Mind if I have one, Lieutenant?
No.
You don't like me, do you, Dundee?
I don't like any cops who aren't on the force. I asked you what you knew about Miles Archer getting killed.
Well, once again, very little. Your boys called me at 10 after 2. I understand they found a Webley automatic in the alley with 1 bullet out of it.
Yeah. Was Archer out on a job last night?
Well, sure. He was supposed to be tailing a fellow named Floyd Thursby.
Thursby? What for?
Come on, Spade. What for?
You were trying to find out where he lived.
Spade, suppose you answer once without thinking so hard.
I don't like this, Dundee. What are you sucking around for? Tell me or get out.
I asked you why you were tailing Thursby.
I wasn't. Miles was. For the swell reason that we had a client who was paying good United States money to have him tailed.
Who's the client?
And I'm sorry, I can't tell you that.
Be reasonable, Sam. Give us a chance. How can we turn up anything on Miles' killing if you won't tell us what you've got?
Okay. It was a girl who wanted us to tail Thursby.
What girl?
She came into the office yesterday afternoon. I didn't know who she was. Effie announced her about 3 o'clock. Said there was a girl to see me, a girl named Wanda.
There's a girl to see you, Mr. Spade. She says her name's Wonderly.
What is she, Effie, a customer?
I guess so. You'll want to see her anyway, Mr. Spade. She's a knockout.
Well, sure in, Effie, darling.
Will you come in, Miss Wonderly?
Thank you. Mr. Spade?
Yeah, that's right. Now, what can I do for you, Miss Wonderly?
Well, I don't know where to start. I asked at the hotel for the name of a reliable private detective, and they mentioned yours.
I see. Well, I suppose you tell me about it from the very beginning.
Well, I'm from New York. I've come here to find my sister.
Mm-hmm. Well, are you sure she's in San Francisco?
Well, she was 2 weeks ago. I had a letter from her. She came here with a man named Thursby, Floyd Thursby.
You mean she ran away with him?
Yes. Oh, Mr. Spade, I've got to find her. Mother and father in Honolulu, and it would kill them. I've got to get her back before they come home.
Well, what did she say in the letter?
Nothing, except that she was all right. I sent her a note begging her not to do anything foolish. I sent it to General Delivery. I told her I was coming out to get her. I shouldn't have done that, should I?
Well, it's not always easy to know what to do. You haven't found her?
No. No, I told her I'd be at the St. Mark for her to meet me there. But I've waited 3 whole days. She didn't come, didn't even send a message.
Well, go on.
Oh, it was horrible, waiting. But yesterday afternoon I went to the post office. Corinne didn't come for her mail, but Floyd Thursby did.
Well, did you speak to him?
Yes. He wouldn't tell me where Corinne was, but he promised to bring her to the hotel this evening.
Hi, Sam. Say, Oh, excuse me.
Oh, it's all right, Miles. Miss Wonderly, this is Mr. Archer, my partner.
Well, how do you do?
Mr. Archer.
Anything I can do, Sam?
Well, Miss Wonderly's sister ran away from New York with a fellow named Thursby.
Oh.
Miss Wonderly's seen Thursby and has a date with him tonight at the St. Mark. Maybe he'll bring the sister with him, but the chances are he won't. Miss Wonderly wants us to find the sister and get her away from him and back home, right?
Yes. But I want you to know that he's a dangerous man. I don't think he'd stop at anything. I don't believe he'd hesitate to kill Corinne if he thought it would save him.
But at what time is he coming to see you?
Between 8 and 10.
All right, Miss Wonderly, we'll have a man there.
Oh, no, Sam, no. This is too important for that. I'll look after it myself, Miss Wonderly.
Oh, thank you.
Not at all.
Oh, here, I've brought some money. Will $200 be enough?
Well, to begin with, yes. Oh, by the way, it would help some if you would meet Thursby in the lobby.
Oh, I will.
You don't have to look for me, Miss Wonderly. I'll see you all right.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye, Miss Wonderly. See you tonight.
Yes, goodbye.
Well, Miles, what do you think of it?
You saw her first, Sam, but I spoke first.
I wasn't talking about a figure. What about a story?
Huh? Oh, what about it?
Well, you got a great brain, Miles. Yes, you have.
So Miles went out to tail Thursby last night, eh?
Yeah.
And Thursby shot him. Is that what you think?
Well, that's what you think, Dundee. I don't know.
Tom, get on the phone. Call the St. Mark and ask for a girl named Wonderly.
I thought of that myself, Lieutenant. He was never registered. The whole story was probably a fake.
Oh, was it? How about yours, Mr. Spade?
Tom, what's your boyfriend getting at?
I'll tell you what I'm getting at. Floyd Thursby was shot down in front of his hotel an hour ago.
Take your paws off me.
Easy, boss. Don't rough him up.
Where were you tonight, Spade?
I was right here all night long.
You got any proof?
No. So you think I shot Thursby, huh?
Yeah, I think you did.
Well, I know where I stand now. Did Thursby die?
Yes.
How did I kill him? I forget.
He was shot 3 times in the back with a .44.
Hotel people know anything about him?
Nothing except he'd been there a week.
Alone?
Alone.
Well, did you find out who he was, what his game was?
No, we thought you could tell us that.
I've never seen Thursby, dead or alive.
Now, look, Spade. If you did get Thursby, you'll get a square deal out of me and most of the breaks. I don't know that I'd blame you a lot, the man who killed your partner, but that wouldn't keep me from nailing you.
Well, fair enough. But I'd feel better about it if you'd have a drink with me. No?
No.
Well, good night, gentlemen. I'm tired. Yes? Oh, hello, Miss Wantley. Where are you? Where? The coroner, Department 101, huh? Well, I'll be there in a few minutes. Oh, by the way, what's your name this morning? Miss LeBlanc. Okay, Miss LeBlanc.
Mr. Spade, I have a terrible confession to make.
Yeah? Well, go ahead, Miss LeBlanc.
Well, that story I told you yesterday was all a story.
Oh, that's all right. I didn't believe your story anyhow. I believed your $200.
Oh?
You paid too much for someone who was telling the truth.
Oh, I see.
Now, let's clear up one thing first, Miss LeBlanc.
What?
Your name. Now, what is it? Not LeBlanc.
No, it's really Shaughnessy.
First name?
Bridget.
Bridget Shaughnessy. Oh, that's one I can believe.
Mr. Spade, tell me, am I to blame for last night?
Well, you warned us that Thursby was dangerous. I wouldn't say it was your fault.
Oh, thank you. Mr. Archer was so alive yesterday. So solid and hearty.
Now, stop it. He knew what he was doing. Those are the chances we take. Anyway, there's no time for worrying about that. Right now, there's a flock of cops running around with their noses to the ground.
Mr. Spade, do they know about me?
Well, so far, all they know is that there's a girl somewhere.
But must they know about me at all, Mr. Spade? Couldn't you manage to shield me from
Well,
them?
maybe, but I'll have to know what it's all about.
Well, I can't tell you now. Later I will. You'll have to trust me. Oh, I'm so alone and afraid. I've got nobody to help me if you won't. Please trust me. Help me. Be generous, Mr. Spade.
You don't need much of anybody's help. You're good. Chiefly your eyes, I think. And that throb you get into your voice when you say things like, be generous, Mr. Spade.
All right. I deserve that. But the lie was in the way I said it, not in what I said. You can leave if you like.
No, not yet. Now, I've got nothing against trusting you blindly, but I can't do you any good if I don't know what it's all about. For instance, I've got to have some sort of a line on your friend Thursby.
I met him in Hong Kong. We came here just last week.
Where? Not from Hong Kong?
No.
Where?
Well, I can't tell you.
Well, go on.
I needed him. I was completely dependent on him. He knew it, and he took advantage of it to double-cross me.
How?
I can't tell you that either.
Well, why'd you want him shadowed?
I wanted to learn how far he'd gone, whom he was meeting.
Did he kill Archer?
Yes, certainly.
Well, Thursby had a Luger in his shoulder holster. Archer wasn't killed with a Luger.
Floyd always carried an extra revolver in his overcoat pocket.
Well, why all the guns?
He lived by them.
You picked a nice playmate. All right, let's have it now. How bad a spot are you in?
As bad could be.
Physical danger?
Yes, and I'm not heroic. I don't think there's anything worse than death.
Now, shut up. You mean someone who might kill you?
Yes, and they'll get me unless you help. You've got to help. Do you hear? You've got to.
I said shut up. All right, I'll help you. And they'll probably give it to me, too, huh? All right, so what? I guess I won't be the first guy who let a dame make a sucker out of him.
He's back again, Mr. Spade.
Who, Effie?
The fellow was here this morning. Here's his card.
Joel Cairo. What is he, a character?
Mm-hmm. Foreign type. He smells like gardenia.
Gardenia, huh? Well, shoot him in, Effie.
Right. Will you come in, Mr. Cairo?
You're very kind. Thank you.
No, sit down, Mr. Cairo.
Thank you.
I'm Sam Spade. Something I can do for you, Mr. Cairo?
Yes, thank you. But first, may a stranger offer condolences for your partner's unfortunate death.
Thank you.
And may I ask, Mr. Spade, if there is a certain relationship between that and the death of the man Thursby? May I ask that?
No.
I beg your pardon. Mr. Spade, I'm trying to recover an ornament that has been, shall we say, mislaid. I thought and hoped you could assist me.
Yeah?
The ornament is a statuette, the black figure of a bird.
Yeah?
And I'm prepared to pay on behalf of the figure's rightful owner the sum of $5,000 for its recovery and, what is the phrase? No questions will be asked.
Well, $5,000 is a lot of money. Come in.
Is there anything else for me, Mr. Spade?
Oh, no. Good night, Effie. And lock the door when you go, will you?
Good night.
Yes, Mr. Cairo, $5,000 is a very... What do you think you're doing?
I'm pointing a revolver at a spot directly between your eyes. You will please clasp your hands together at the back of your neck and do not move. I intend to search your office, and if you attempt to prevent me, I shall certainly shoot you.
All right, go ahead.
You will please stand. I shall make sure you are not armed.
Certainly. All right, Mr. Cairo. Drop the gun, please. Drop it. Drop it, or do I twist your arm off at the elbow?
You, here. Take it.
Yeah. Thanks. Now sit down over there and behave yourself.
You have bruised me, Mr. Spade.
Well, I'm sorry. I guess I got a little annoyed. I don't like guys who make a phony offer of $5,000.
You are mistaken, Mr. Spade. That was and is a genuine offer.
Yeah?
And I am prepared to pay $5,000 for the figure's return. Do you have the figure?
No.
Then why did you risk serious injury to prevent my searching for it?
Well, I should sit around, let people come in and stick me up. So the offer still goes, huh?
Most certainly.
All right. Now let's put the cards on the table. Your first guess was that I had the bird. Now there's nothing to that. Now what's your second guess?
That you know where it is, or at least that you know it is where you can get it.
Well, you're not hiring me to do any murders or burglaries for you, but simply to get it back, if possible, in an honest, lawful way.
If possible, and in any event with discretion. I'm at the Hotel Belvedere when you wish to communicate with me. Good evening, Mr. Spade.
So long. Oh, wait. Do you know a girl named Wanderley?
No, I do not.
LeBlanc?
No.
Well, how about Bridget Shaughnessy?
The Hotel Belvedere, Mr. Spade, room 655.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, may I have my revolver back, please?
Oh, yeah, sure. I'd forgotten it. Here you are.
Thank you. Now, you will please keep your hands behind your head. I still intend to search your office.
Well, I'll be... All right, go ahead.
Thank you.
Come in, Mr. Spade. Do you have any news for me?
Yeah, a little.
I mean, did you manage it so that the police won't have to know about me?
No, they won't. For a while, anyway.
Oh, and you won't get into any trouble. You won't, Mr. Spade.
Oh, I don't mind a reasonable amount of trouble.
Do sit down, please.
Do sit down, please. Now, look, you aren't exactly the sort of person you pretend to be, are you?
I'm not sure I know what you mean.
Well, schoolgirl manner, stammering, blushing, and all that. Because if you are, honey, we'll never get anyplace. Now, stop acting.
All right, I'm sorry.
Good. I saw Joel Kyra tonight.
You know him?
Only slightly.
What did he say?
About what?
About me?
Nothing.
Well, what did he talk about?
Well, he offered me $5,000 for the Black Bird.
Oh, did he? And what did you say?
Well, I said $5,000 is a lot of money.
It is. It's a lot more than I could ever offer you if I must bid for your loyalty.
Oh, that's good. Coming from you. Now, what have you given me besides $200? Have you given me any of your confidence, any of the truth?
Can't you trust me a little longer?
Well, how much is a little? What are you waiting for?
Well, I must talk to Joel Kyra.
Well, you can see him tonight.
He can't come here. I can't let him know where I am. I'm afraid.
Well, my place, then. What about it?
All right. Your place.
Good.
But wait. You'll have to let me go about this in my own way. You mustn't interfere.
Well, I'll just sit and listen while you talk over old times.
You're a strange person. I like you.
Yeah? Well, don't overdo it. Sit down, Mr. Cairo. Sit down, Miss Shaughnessy.
I might advise you, Mr. Spade. There's a boy outside who seems to be watching the house.
Yes, I know. I spotted him.
What boy? Who is he?
Oh, I don't know. A gunman, I guess. He's been telling me around town all evening.
Did he follow you to my apartment?
No, I shook him before that. Well, let's start the meeting.
I'm delighted to see you again, Miss Shaughnessy.
I was sure you would be, Joel.
Well, I'll mix a drink. Just go ahead, Bridget.
Mr. Spade told me about your order for the Falcon. How soon can you have the money ready?
It is ready.
In cash?
Oh, yes.
You're ready to give us $5,000 if we turn over the Falcon to you.
I should be able to give you the money at, say, 10:30 in the morning.
But I haven't got the Falcon.
What?
Oh, don't worry. I'll have it in another week at the most.
Why must I wait a week?
Well, perhaps not a whole week.
And why, if I may ask, are you willing to sell it to me at all?
I'm afraid, after what happened to Floyd. I'm afraid to touch it except to turn it over to somebody else right away.
Tell me, exactly what did happen to Floyd?
He was murdered by the fat man.
Fat man. Is he here?
I don't know. I suppose so. What difference does it make?
It might make a world of difference.
Yes, you might be able to get around the fat man, Joel, as you did that one in Istanbul. What was his name? The one you did away with.
That is a lie, you dirty little...
Get away from her. Get away, do you hear?
No.
Now, cool down.
This is the second time you've put your hands on me, Mr. Spade.
I'll try and make it the last. Now, you better get out, Cairo. I'll call you tomorrow.
You're working for her now, is that it?
I'm working for myself. If you want to withdraw your offer, just say so.
The offer still stands.
Well, all right, get out.
Very well. Good night, Mr. Spade.
Well, you've got some fine friends, Miss Shaughnessy. Do they always try to throttle you?
I suppose I ought to thank you.
Well, you've had your talk with Cairo, now you can talk to me.
Well, it didn't work out the way I hoped. I'll have to go now.
No, not until you've told me about it.
Am I a prisoner?
Maybe. Or maybe that kid outside hasn't gone home yet.
Do you think he's still there?
Likely.
I'll stay. For a while, anyhow.
Okay. Now, what's this bird, this falcon that everybody's all steamed up about?
It's a black figure of a bird, a hawk or a falcon, about a foot high.
Well, what makes it so important?
I don't know. They wouldn't tell me. But they promised me $5,000 if I helped them get it from the man who had it.
That was in Istanbul.
Yes.
Well, go ahead.
That's all. They promised me the money to help them, and I did. And then we found out that Joel Cairo meant to desert us, taking the Falcon with him and leaving Floyd and me nothing, so we did exactly that to Mr. Cairo. But then I wasn't any better off than before because Floyd hadn't any intention of keeping his promise to me about sharing equally. I learned that by the time we got here.
What's the bird made of?
Porcelain or black stone, I don't know.
You're a liar.
What?
A liar.
Yes, I am. I've always been a liar.
Now, don't brag about it. Is there any truth at all in that yarn?
Some, not very much.
All right, we've got all night before us. I'll put some coffee on and we'll try again.
Oh, I'm so tired. I'm so tired of lying and thinking up lies and not knowing what is a lie and what's the truth. Don't ask me. Please don't. If there's any kindness in you at all.
Now, what are you trying now? That's right. Turn on the beauty. Let your eyes get nice and starry. Put your arms around my neck and look pleadingly at me. Now, you're great. Do you think it's going to get you anyplace?
Oh, I couldn't. With you.
No? Well, don't be so sure.
Two of the Maltese Falcon, starring Edward G. Robinson as Sam Spade, Gail Patrick as Bridget, and Laird Krieger as Gutman. On the trail of the Black Falcon, Sam Spade has followed nothing but blind alleys. But now a call comes from his secretary.
He was here twice, Mr. Spade. He wouldn't leave his name, though.
No place I can reach him?
He said something about the Hotel Barclay.
Well, what did he look like, Effie? Can you describe him?
Well, that's easy enough. A big fellow, about 270 pounds.
Yeah? The fat man.
In the lobby of the Hotel Barclay, Sam Spade watches for the fat man. But he sees only the boy who has followed him for the last 3 days.
All right, son. Where is he?
What?
Come on, where is he? You work for him, don't you?
Who?
A fat man. I want to speak to him.
What do you think you're doing, Jack? Kidding me?
I'll tell you when I am. You've been tailing around after me for 3 days, and I'm getting a little sick of it. You can tell the fat man I said so.
Shove off.
You'll have to talk to me before you're through, Sonny, and so will he.
I said shove
And you can
off.
take your hand out of your pocket. Guns don't scare me much.
Keep asking for it, and you're going to get it. Plenty.
People lose their teeth talking like that. If you want to hang around, be polite. I tell the fat man to call me and leave his name.
Hello, Mr. Spade. Mr. Gutman called. He says the boy gave him the message. Room 407, the Barclay, this afternoon at 3.
Ah, Mr. Spade. Delighted to see you, delighted.
How do you do, Mr. Gutman?
Sit down, my friend. We'll have a little drink.
Well, I can't stay long. Sorry, I've got an appointment at the district attorney's office.
So? It's interesting. Say when, Mr. Spade?
I'll leave it to you.
Excellent, excellent. I distrust a man who says when. If he's got to be careful not to drink too much, it's because he's not to be trusted when he does. You're a close-mouthed man, Mr. Spade.
No, I like the talk. I enjoy it.
Better and better. I distrust a close-mouthed man. He generally picks the wrong time to talk and says the wrong things. Well, sir, we'll talk.
That's swell. Well, we talk about the black bird.
You're the man for me, sir. No beating about the bush, but right to the point. But first, sir, answer me a question. Are you here as Miss Shaughnessy's representative or Mr. Cairo's?
Well, there's nothing certain about it either way yet. It depends.
But which will you represent? It will be one or the other?
Not necessarily.
Who else is there?
Well, there's me.
Ah, that's wonderful, sir. Wonderful. I do like a man who tells you right off that he's looking out for himself.
Let's talk about the black bird.
Let's. Mr. Spade, have you any conception of how much money can be got for that black bird?
No.
Well, sir, if I told you half, you'd call me a liar.
No, not even if I thought so.
You know what the bird is, of course.
No, I don't.
You don't? They didn't tell you that?
Well, I know what it's supposed to look like, and I know the value in human life you people put on it.
But Miss Shaughnessy didn't tell you what it is. And Cairo didn't either?
Mm-mm.
Well, they must know what it is. But do they? What is your impression, sir?
Well, there isn't much to go by. Cairo wouldn't talk. The girl said she didn't know, but I took it for granted she was lying.
Then they don't know. I am the only one in this whole wide, wonderful world who does.
Oh, that's great. When you've told me, that'll make two of us.
Mathematically, correct, sir. But I don't know for certain that I'm going to tell you.
Now, don't be foolish. You know what it is. I know where it is. That's why I'm here.
Well, sir, where is it? There, you see? I must tell things, but you refuse. That is hardly equitable, sir. No. I don't think we can do business along these lines.
You don't, huh? Well, think again and think fast. I told that gunman of yours that you'd have to talk to me before you finished. Now, I'll tell you now that you'll do your talking today or you're through. Now, what are you wasting my time for? I can get along without you. Now, talk!
Is anything wrong, boss?
Come in, Wilmer.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, come in, Sonny. Keep your hand off your gun or I'll knock your ears down.
Listen, you...
Wilmer. Just stand over there, Wilmer. Excitable young man, Mr. Spade.
Well, make up your mind, Gutman. While you're doing it, keep that gunsel away from me. I'll kill him.
Mr. Spade, I must say you've a most violent temper.
Well, think it over. You've got till 5:30. Then you're either in or out for keeps.
Now, look, Mr. Spade. I've got a murder on my hands. 2 murders. And the boss is yelling for a conviction. We need your help. Now, who killed Thursby?
I don't know.
Perhaps you don't, but you could make an excellent guess.
Well, my guess might be excellent or it might be crummy, but Mrs. Spade didn't raise any children dippy enough to make guesses in front of a district attorney and a stenographer.
Mr. Spade, I wish you wouldn't regard this as a formal inquiry. And please don't think I have any belief in those theories the police seem to form. You see, they think you killed Thursby.
Yeah? Well, what's your theory?
Simple. Tell me who Archie was shadowing Thursby for, and I'll tell you the murderer.
Yeah, that's where you're wrong.
Whether or not I'm wrong isn't for you to judge. I'm a sworn officer of the law, Mr. Spade. My duty
I
is...
thought this was an informal talk.
It is,
Well, then
but
listen. The police think I mixed up in those killings. Well, my best chance of clearing myself is to bring in the murderers all tied up. And my only chance of ever tying them up is by keeping away from you and the cops, because you'd only gum up the works.
Now, just a minute,
And
Mr.
I don't
Spade,
want any more of these informal talks. If you want to see me again, pinch me or subpoena me or something, and I'll come down with my lawyer. See you at the inquest.
Hey. You.
Well, hiya, son. Didn't expect to see you until 5:25. I hope I haven't kept you waiting.
Keep on riding me and they'll be picking iron out of your liver.
The cheaper the crook, the gaudier the patter. Is Gutman ready to talk?
He's waiting at the hotel. Get going.
What's that? Oh, they're on their way up now? Thank you. Oh, hello, operator. I don't want to receive any calls for about an hour. Yes, thank you.
Come on, get in, Sonny.
Mr. Spade.
Here, Gutman. Here's your gunman's six-shooter.
Well, what's this?
I took it away from him. I was afraid he might hurt himself.
I'll get you, Spade. Someday I'll let you have it right in the face.
Come on, get out of here.
Wait outside, Wilma. By gad, sir, you're a chap worth knowing. An amazing character. Here, I've mixed a drink for you.
Thanks.
Oh, by the way, I owe you an apology.
Oh, never mind that. Never mind. Let's talk about the bird.
All right, sir, let's. Mr. Spade, this is going to be the most astounding thing you ever heard.
Yeah?
What do you know, sir, about the Knights of Rhodes?
Nothing.
Well, they were crusaders, Mr. Spade. In 1539, these crusading knights persuaded the Emperor Charles V to give them the island of Malta.
Yeah?
He made but one condition. They were to pay him each year the tribute of a falcon in acknowledgement that Malta was still under Spain. Do you follow me?
Yeah, so far.
Good. Well, sir, the knights were profoundly grateful to the Emperor for his generosity toward them.
Mm-hmm.
The very first year, they sent him not an insignificant live bird, but a glorious golden falcon, encrusted from head to foot with the finest jewels in their coffers. Well, sir, what do you think of that?
I don't know.
These are facts, historical facts. They sent this jeweled bird to Charles, who was then in Spain, but it never reached Spain. A famous admiral of buccaneers took the knight's galley and the bird.
Mm-hmm.
In 1713, it turned up in Sicily. In 1840, it appeared in Paris.
Oh.
It had, by that time, acquired a coat of black enamel so that it looked like nothing more than a fairly interesting black statuette. Then in 1922, a Greek dealer named Charaleos found it in an obscure shop. No thickness of enamel could conceal value from his eyes. Drink up, sir.
Yeah, well, go on.
Well, sir, to hold it safe, Charaleos re-enameled the bird.
See?
I got wind of his find, but when I arrived in Athens, I discovered that the bird was gone, and Charaleos murdered. That was over 20 years ago. Well, sir, it took me 20 years to locate that bird, but I did. I traced it to the home of a Russian general, one Kemidov, in Istanbul. I sent some agents to get it. Well, sir, they got it. And I haven't got it.
Where's Kemidov?
Oh, Kemidov? He died.
Very suddenly.
Yes. His heart.
And was there a knife in it or a bullet?
Your glass, sir? Thank you. Now, before we start to talk prices, how soon are you willing to produce the Falcon?
A couple of days.
Now, that's quite satisfactory. Well, sir, here's to a fair bargain. Drink up.
Well, what's your idea of a fair bargain?
$25,000 when you deliver the Falcon to me, and another $25,000 later on, or I'll give you 1/4 of what I realize on the Falcon. That would amount to a vastly greater sum.
Well, how much greater?
Who knows? Shall I say 100,000? That would be the minimum.
And what's the maximum?
What would you say to $250,000?
Well, then you think the thing is worth $1 million, huh?
At least.
Well, that's a lot of dough.
A lot of dough.
Minimum, huh? And the maximum? And,
What's the matter, Mr. Spade? Are you feeling ill?
I feel, what was in that drink?
The drink? Oh, I drugged it.
Yeah?
You'll be unconscious very shortly, Mr. Spade. You'd better lie down. I wouldn't want you to fall.
Well, that's very good. That's very...
Oh, dear. Oh, Joel. Joel, come in.
Is he unconscious?
Yes. You know, he's a very interesting person, Joel. The kind of a man I enjoy dealing with.
Now the third act of The Maltese Falcon, starring Edward G. Robinson, Gail Patrick, and Laird Krieger. When Sam Spade woke up, he was alone in the hotel room. Pale and still shaking from the effects of the drug, he's gone to his office, where Effie stares at him in alarm.
Mr. Spade, what happened to you?
I wouldn't know. I went visiting this afternoon, was fed knockout drops, and came to just a little while ago, all spread out on a man's floor.
Who did it?
The fat man.
But why?
Didn't have a chance to ask. Evidently, he wanted to get me out of the way for something.
But I don't get it. You... Hello? Yes? What? I can't hear you.
Who is it?
Give it to me again. Yes, I've got that. Captain who? Jacoby? Yes, Hello? Hello? She's gone.
Who's gone? Who?
It was the Shaughnessy girl. She wants you. Here's the address.
26 Ancho Street.
She's in some kind of trouble, Mr. Spade. She was telling me something about a ship captain named Jacoby. And then something happened to her.
What happened?
I don't know. Like she was being choked.
Listen, is that the outside door?
I'll see. Yes, what do you... Oh!
Mr. Spade?
Who is it, Effie?
I don't know. It's...
Mr. Spade?
Yes?
This package for you. She told me. For you.
What's the matter with you?
For you.
Mr. Spade! Mr. Spade!
Shut up. Lock the door.
Yes. Here.
Give me the scissors from the desk, will you? I want to see what's in this package.
Here. Is he dead?
Got about 4 slugs in him, that's all.
Oh.
Come on, pull yourself together.
Oh, I'm all right.
Well, now we'll see. Here, this is what I think it is. Yeah? Yeah.
What is it?
You've got it, Angel. We've got it. The Maltese Falcon.
The Falcon?
Look at it. The Blackbird. $1 million under a coat of enamel.
She sent him with it. That's what he tried to tell us. He must be Captain Jacoby.
Now, listen, I've got to get to her. As soon as I've gone, phone the police. Tell them how it happened, but forget he brought a bundle. Here, get it straight now.
Yes.
I'll leave the bird in the safe. When I call you, bring it to that Ancho Street address. Got it?
Yeah.
And after you bring it to me, go out and call Dante. Tell him to come on the run with about 6 cops. No mistakes, Effie. I may need them.
Just keep your hands up, Mr. Spade, and come in. Wilma, shut the door. Well, sir, we're all here, waiting for you. Now let's sit down, Mr. Spade, and be comfortable.
Sure.
Sam, I tried to call you. I wanted to tell you.
Oh, it's all right, honey. Take it easy.
But they've been holding me here all last night and today.
But you've come to no harm, Miss Shaughnessy, as yet. Oh, Mr. Spade, I believe you know Mr. Cairo.
Yeah.
How do you do?
And Wilma, of course.
You carrying a rod? Let me see.
All right, get away. You're not going to frisk me.
Stand still.
Put your paw on me, and I'm going to make you use that gun. Ask your boss if he wants me shut up before we talk.
Sit down, Wilma. Mr. Spade, you're certainly a most headstrong individual. Well, let's talk.
Yeah. You ready to make the first payment and take the Falcon off my hands?
You're sure you have it?
Sam, have you?
I didn't this afternoon, but I have now.
Then I'm willing to pay. Joel, the money, please.
Yeah, wait. There's another thing to be taken care of first. We've got to have a fall guy.
I beg your pardon?
Well, the police have got to have a victim. Somebody they can stick for those 3 murders.
2. Only 2 murders, Mr. Spade. Thursby undoubtedly killed your partner.
All right, 2. The point is, I've got to come through with somebody, a victim, when the time comes. If I don't, I'll be it.
And whom do you recommend as this victim?
Oh, well, I'm not fussy. How about giving them Wilma here? He'll do.
Why, you...
Get away, punk.
By gad, Mr. Spade, you are a character.
Well, it's our best bet. If we turn him over, the cops will be happy. We'll be free as the air.
Well, what do you think of this, Wilma? It's mighty funny, huh?
Yeah, mighty funny.
Well, anyway, he killed Thursby, didn't he? He's made to order for the part.
Get up on your feet.
Go away, punk.
I've taken all the riding for you. I'm going to take it up and shoot it out.
Calm yourself, Wilma. Mr. Spade, your plan is not at all practical. Let's not say anything more about it.
Well, all right, I've got another suggestion. Want to hear it?
Most assuredly.
I'll give them Joel Cairo.
Suppose we give them you, Mr. Spade, or Miss Shaughnessy. How about that?
Now, look, you people want the Falcon. I've got it, and the fall guy's part of the price. As for Miss Shaughnessy, well, if you think she can be rigged for the part, I'm perfectly willing to discuss it with you.
Sam,
What's the matter?
you don't mean it. You couldn't.
No, because I don't think the cops would be happy, Angel. Well, personally, I see only one guy who's really right. That's Wilma.
I'll kill him. I'll kill him.
Stop it! Stop it, do you hear?
Oh, let him go.
I told him to lay off me. I warned him.
I hated to do that, but the punk had it coming to him. There's your fall guy, Mr. Gutman. What do you say?
I don't like it, sir.
Well, either you'll say yes right now, or I'll turn the Falcon and the whole lot of you in.
No. All right. You can have Wilma. Carry him inside, Joe.
My secretary left an hour ago with the Falcon. She ought to be here in a few minutes. What about the money, Gutman?
In a few minutes. When she gets here.
Good enough. Now, let's get the details fixed. Now, why did Wilma kill Thursby, and why and where did he shoot Captain Jacoby?
Well, I shall be candid with you, sir. Thursby was Miss Shaughnessy's ally. We believed that disposing of him would frighten Miss Shaughnessy into patching up her differences with us.
That sounds all right. Now, Jacoby.
Captain Jacoby's death was entirely Miss Shaughnessy's fault.
That's a lie.
Well, tell me what happened.
Cairo saw in the newspaper that Jacoby's ship was arriving. He remembered that Jacoby and Miss Shaughnessy had been seen together in Hong Kong. Well, sir, he put 2 and 2 together and guessed the truth. She had given the bird to Jacoby to bring here.
Yes, and at that juncture, you decided to slip me the Mickey, huh?
Well, I'm sorry there was no place for you in our plans, Mr. Spade. Mr. Cairo and Wilma and I went to the boat to call on Captain Jacoby and Miss Shaughnessy. We persuaded Miss Shaughnessy to come to terms, or so we thought. Well, sir, we mere men should have known better. En route to my hotel, Captain Jacoby and the Falcon slipped completely through our fingers. Except that Wilma put a few bullets in him while he was running away. Oh, by the way, you said Jacoby died?
Yes, but not until after he brought me the Falcon.
Ah. Well, there's a bright side to everything, isn't there?
I'll get it. It's my secretary.
You don't mind if I go to the door with you?
All right, come on.
Mr. Spade,
Well, thanks a lot, Effie.
I wrapped it up again. Is there anything else?
No, thanks. Bye, Effie.
Goodbye, Mr. Spade.
Let me have it, Mr. Spade.
Easy.
Let me see it quickly.
Here, I guess the pleasure ought to be Mr. Gutman.
After 20 years. 20 years. There it is. There you are, beauty.
Is it the Falcon, the original?
We will make sure. Your knife, Joel.
Here.
Thank you. Just a tiny cut in the enamel, and underneath we find...
Gutman, what's the matter?
It's a fake! It's lead! It's a fake!
But it can't be.
All right, Shaughnessy, you've had your little joke. Now tell us about it.
But no, Sam, no. That's the one I got from Kemidorf, I swear.
You bungled it, Gutman. You and your stupid attempt to buy it. Kemidorf caught on how valuable it was. He put a fake in its place.
Yes, that is Kemidorf's hand. There's no doubt of it. Well, Joel, what do you suggest? Shall we stand here and shed tears and call each other names? Or shall we go to Istanbul?
Istanbul? You are still going to look for the Falcon?
For 20 years I have wanted that little item and have been trying to get it. I'll go on trying.
Very well. I'll go with you.
Get Wilmer. We'll start tomorrow.
Yes, tomorrow. Wilmer, Why, he's gone.
What?
The window is opened. He's gone.
Oh, swell lot of thieves.
We have little enough to boast about, sir. But the world hasn't come to an end just because we've run into a little setback. I'm sorry about your money, Mr. Spade, but of course you didn't earn it.
Well, I held up my end. You got your Falcon. It's your hard luck, not mine, that it wasn't what you wanted.
My hat, Joe.
Now, wait a minute.
Mr. Spade, it will do you no good to argue. I haven't the money with me anyhow.
Well, I had an idea that was it.
Now, sir, we'll say goodbye to you. And since the shortest farewells are the best, adieu. And to you, Miss Shaughnessy, I leave the lead Falcon as a little memento. Adieu.
Sam, what are you going to do?
Nothing.
But those murders, you're mixed up in them. You said yourself the police needed a victim. Call them now. Tell them about Gutman.
I don't have to call him. Gutman will be nailed before he goes a block, but when he's nailed, he'll talk about you. Now, we're sitting on dynamite, and we've only got a couple of minutes to get all set for the cops. Now, give me all of it fast. Talk.
Well, where shall I begin?
Well, the day you first came to my office, why did you want Thursby shadowed?
I told you, Sam. I suspected him of betraying me, and I wanted to find out.
Now, that's a lie. You had Thursby hooked, and you knew it. You wanted to get him out of the way before Jacoby came with a bird. Isn't that so?
Yes.
What was your scheme?
Well, I thought that if he saw someone following him, he might be frightened into going away.
Well, then you must have told Thursby that Archie was following him.
Yes, I told him. But please believe me, Sam. I wouldn't have told him if I'd thought Thursby would kill him.
Well, if you thought he wouldn't kill Archie, you were right, Angel.
Didn't he?
No. Archie had been a cop too long to be caught like that, up a blind alley with his gun tucked away in his hip and his overcoat buttoned. But he would have gone up there with you, Angel. He was just dumb enough for that.
Sam.
And then you could have stood as close to him as you liked in the dark and put a hole through him with a gun you'd gotten from Thursby that night.
Don't talk to me like that, Sam. You know I didn't.
Oh, shut up. This isn't the spot for schoolgirl act. Why did you shoot him?
Oh, I didn't mean to at first. I didn't really, but when I saw that Thursby couldn't be frightened, Oh, Sam, darling.
Go on. When you found that Thursby didn't mean to tackle Archie, you borrowed the gun and did it yourself, right?
Yes.
You didn't know then that Gutman was here hunting for you until you heard Thursby had been shot. And then you knew you needed another protector, so you came back to me.
Yes, but Sam, it wasn't only that. I would have come back to you sooner or later. From the very first minute I saw you, I knew that
Oh, you angel. Well, if you get a good break, you'll be out of San Quentin in 20 years, and you can come back to me then.
What? Oh, no, you're not going to...
I'm going to send you over.
Oh, no, don't, Sam. Don't say that.
You're taking the fall, darling.
You're doing this to me? Don't you understand, Sam? I'm in love with you.
That's great.
But you can't. You can't.
Yes, I can. You killed a man, darling, remember?
You know deep down in your heart, you know that in spite of anything I've done, I love you.
I don't care who loves who. I'm not going to play the sucker. I won't walk in Thursby's, and I don't know how many others' footsteps. You killed Miles, and you're going over for it.
Sam.
That's the cops.
Don't let them in, please.
Sit tight, honey.
Sam.
Hello, Spade.
Come in. Did you get the fat boy?
We got them. The kid, too.
Swell. Here's another one for you. She killed Miles.
Can you prove it?
Can I, Miss Shaughnessy? Can I prove it? Go on, tell them.
Yes.
All right, come on.
So long, Miss Shaughnessy.
This doesn't mean anything to you, does it?
Maybe. But you're going anyway. The chances are you'll get off with 20 years. If you do, I'll wait for you. And if they hang you, Angel, I'll always remember you.
From the gritty streets of San Francisco, we journey to the open sea in one-way passage. A condemned man and a terminally ill woman find love during a fateful voyage. But can their fleeting romance transcend the grim realities that await them both? And what sacrifices will they make for a few precious moments of happiness?
From Hollywood, the Screen Director's Playhouse. Screen Directors Playhouse. Star William Powell. Production One Way Passage. Director Tay Garnett. The Hollywood Screen Directors present A Prelude to Eternity, the motion picture drama One Way Passage, starring William Powell in his original role of Dan Hardesty, with Peggy Dow as Joan.
I'm a doctor, therefore a sort of scientist, I suppose. And science isn't supposed to be very sentimental or to believe in the kind of happy ending that this story has. Here it is. Make of it what you will. I've got to believe in it. I saw it happen. I suppose as Joan Ames's doctor, I should have kept her away from the excitement of places like the Bar of All Nations back there in Shanghai. But I couldn't bring myself to spoil her wistful fun. Joan was trying so very hard to pack a lot of living into so short a time. Joan had heard the worldly wise man at her elbow order
Paradise cocktail, please.
She ordered the same, and reaching to pick it up, jostled the man at her elbow.
Oh,
Hey,
dear,
what the dickens you...
I'm terribly sorry.
Well, I'm so glad.
It seems I slipped.
We all slip now and then.
But I've spilled your drink for you.
We both have some left in our glasses.
Yes, a few drops. Always the most precious.
And I can't imagine a more appropriate time to drink the last few drops of a paradise cocktail. Here's hoping you get everything your heart desires.
I've got it.
Drink. Thank you.
Me too.
My name's Dan.
Mine's Joan.
Hello, Joan.
Hello, Dan. Goodbye, Dan.
Oh, no, that sounds too ruthless.
I'm sailing tomorrow.
Honolulu?
And then on to San Francisco.
Oh. Well, luck allowed us a little time together anyhow.
It's hail and farewell, Dan.
Listen. Auf Wiedersehen.
That means goodbye, doesn't it?
Joan,
Yes?
break your glass.
Why?
Do it.
All right.
Now, I break mine. Now put the stem of your glass across the stem of my glass so it makes a letter X.
Why?
Please.
All right. There. Now, what does it mean?
Well, perhaps X marks the spot where one rare, bright moment was captured.
Perhaps.
Goodbye, Joan. Bon voyage and auf Wiedersehen. Come in.
You rang for ice water, sir?
Yes, just put it down on the... Steve Cannell.
I'll reach for your gun, Dan.
You know I don't carry a gun, Steve.
It's too bad you were carrying one that night in San Francisco.
That was different. Someone murdered my best friend, and the law didn't do anything about it.
So you took the law into your own hands.
I'm not sorry.
But you're coming back to San Quentin with me, Dan.
I'm ready.
You killed a man. You gotta pay.
I said I'm ready.
The boat leaves for San Francisco in 1 hour via Honolulu.
Honolulu.
To San Francisco, to San Quentin.
And the death house. Well, I'm still ready, Steve.
Well, we're sailing in 10 minutes, Dan.
Yeah, I wouldn't lean against that rail if I were you, Steve.
Now, don't get gray hairs about me.
Okay, but if that brass pin comes out of that swinging rail, it'll drop you right in the drink.
And that would break you all up.
Candidly, no.
Well, it won't happen. They broke 3 of my pals the first time you escaped. It isn't going to happen to me. As a matter of fact...
Look out, Steve. There goes the rail.
Hey, let go of me.
Hey! Now to swim for it.
Dan,
Swim for it.
Dan, come back.
Yeah, try to catch me.
You pushed me in.
So long, flatfoot.
I can't swim, Dan. Help.
You're lying to me.
No, Dan. Quick, I can't swim. Help.
Oh, okay, Steve. I'm a fool, but I'll get you out.
Look, Dr. Duncan, he's got him. Dan's got him.
Now, take it easy, Joan, please.
Oh, Dan got him just as he was going down. Oh, good for you, Dan. Nice going. There, they've thrown him a line.
That's all there is to it, Joan. Nothing to get excited about.
No, it's all right.
Are you all right? Joan.
Just a little tired. Take me to my stateroom, Doctor. Will you? Thank you, Doctor. I feel much better now.
I've told you, Joan, you must not get excited. You're cutting your months to weeks and your weeks to days.
And my days to hours. But if I remain quietly here in my stateroom and deny myself even the mildest pleasures, I may live to see San Francisco again. Is that it?
You're putting it rather cruelly.
Oh, no. Because I'm going to crowd a lifetime of intense, beautiful happiness into the short time I have left. Even if it is only for a few hours, I mean to have all the living I can lay my hands on. And now, Doctor, I want to find Dan. I want to see if he's all right.
Say, Dan, what is that you're drinking? Perfume?
That's a paradise cocktail, Steve. Half gasoline and half nitric acid.
Oh, a tough guy, huh?
If I was a tough guy, I'd have let you drown today.
No, I'll admit you didn't have to save my life. If you let me drown, you'd be a free man now. I appreciate it.
Oh, that's all right. I might ask you a favor sometime.
Oh, yeah? What kind of a favor?
I don't know yet. Oh, will you excuse me, Steve? I just noticed a friend of mine sitting all by herself at a table. I'll see you later, Mr. Connell. Hello, Joan.
Dan, hello again. Please sit down.
Yeah, perhaps I'd better. This is my third paradise cocktail.
This is my first today.
Ah, convert.
Shall we say his luck?
And a long life?
Long enough.
Here's to us, Joan. The only us on Earth. Here's to it, huh?
There you go again.
Break yours, too. And cross the stems. That's it.
X marks the spot where another lovely moment was captured.
Yes.
Oh.
Well, what is it?
Nothing. I'm just very tired, Dan. And very happy.
Well, thanks. I'll take you to your stateroom.
You won't fall overboard again when you're alone, will you?
Oh, not now. I've got too much to lose.
Good. Because it'll be such fun going ashore at Honolulu. Just you and I.
Oh, yes.
Don't you want to?
Indeed, I do, Joan, but... Well, I'll have to get rid of Steve.
Steve?
Yeah, my partner. He wants me to stay in a stateroom and work while the ship is docked at Honolulu.
Let me talk to him.
Oh, no. Let me.
Well, here's my stateroom, Dan.
Until tomorrow, Joan. Auf Wiedersehen.
You sure get around, Dan, even on shipboard. Where you been all these days? In the smokestack?
Steve. We dock in Honolulu tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll have to handcuff you to me, you know.
Not tomorrow, Steve.
Any time we're in port.
Except tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going ashore without you.
You gonna make trouble.
Ah, put the gun away, Steve. You wouldn't shoot.
You just don't know me, Dan.
Steve. This girl you've seen me with, she's going ashore tomorrow. I want to be alone with her just for a little, Steve. What do you say?
You just had to save my life, didn't you?
You owe me that, Steve. And I'm going to hold you to it.
All right, Dan.
Thanks.
Remember your manners, Dan. Thanks, sucker.
I'd never seen Joan so radiant as she went down the gangplank when we docked at Honolulu. And I'd been her doctor for a long time. That young fellow she called Dan was with her. And if he was that good for her, he deserved to be with her.
Oh, Dan. I'd be content to stay on this lovely, lonely beach the rest of my life.
Would you, Joan?
Forever.
Joan, would you be content to spend the rest of your life with me?
Oh, very content, darling.
Even in some very far-off, isolated place?
Anywhere and forever.
Darling, that man with me, Steve, he's...
Yes?
Well, he wants me to go to San Francisco with him, but I can't do that. I'm going somewhere else, alone. But wherever I am, wherever you are, I'll send for you.
Oh, no, dear, you won't send for me.
Why not?
Because I'm going with you.
No, Joan, that's impossible.
But I've made up my mind.
Well, then, there's something that you've got to know.
May I have a cigarette, please?
Of course.
Thank you.
Light?
How far that little matchstick throws its beams, so shines a good deed in a naughty world. Or anyhow, something like that. Or maybe I burn my candle at both ends. It will not last the night. But my foes and my friends, it gives a lovely light.
Edna St. Vincent Millay. I'm no dope.
No.
I know this, too. It goes, how do I love thee? Let me count the ways.
No.
Oh, what's the matter?
I know that, too. And I know how it ends.
I love thee with the breath, smiles, tears of all my life.
All my life.
And if God choose...
I shall but love thee better after death. You see, Dan, I know it, too.
Oh, Joan. Joan, dearest, what is it?
It is true, Dan. Oh, say it's true.
That I love you, dearest.
And that if God choose...
Yes, I shall but love thee better after death.
Why are you stopping the car?
You must go back to the ship alone.
But what about you?
I can't go back, Joan.
Oh, Dan.
Oh, my dear. Oh. That's right. Close your eyes. Well, let me hold you close. Joan, you see, you don't know who I really am or what I am. I'm an escaped convict, condemned to die, to hang. Well, now you know. You see, Joan... Joan. What's the matter? Joan. She's fainted. I've got to take her back to the ship.
Joan Ames was deathly pale and still when Dan Hardesty carried her aboard ship that evening. Together, we took her to her stateroom, and for a day and a half, it was touch and go with Joan. Dan stayed with us or haunted her door for 30 hours without any sleep. And then when she was momentarily out of danger, I asked to talk to Dan in my stateroom.
Is she going to be all right, Doctor?
Yes, for the present.
I didn't know. I understand now. Everything she said.
She survived this attack. She won't survive another. Any excitement, any shock would surely kill her.
But a shock is coming. And through me. I tried to tell her when we were ashore, but she didn't hear me. She'd fainted. She still has to find out that when I get to the States, I'm to be hanged, Doctor.
Great Scott.
For murder.
Why, you can't tell her that. That would kill her.
But she'll never know, I promise you.
The Golden Gate, Dan. Isn't it lovely?
San Francisco. Yeah, we'll be in very soon now.
Yes. Oh, it is lovely.
It's ugly.
San Francisco? Why, Dan?
Oh, no, of course not. I mean that pile of stone there on the North Shore.
What is it? A fort?
That's San Quentin Prison.
Oh, well, I don't like it. Let's talk about nice things, like being together in San Francisco.
Well, I'm afraid I'll have to go to Mexico first on business.
Well, all right. I'll meet you in Mexico.
Joan.
Acapulco, New Year's Eve. How's that?
Well, a lot can happen before then.
Say you'll meet me in Acapulco, New Year's Eve.
All right.
Not enthusiastic enough. You'll have to take me down to the ship's bar and seal the deal with a toast.
A final toast.
Come on, Dan.
Well, Joan, to Acapulco on New Year's Eve.
We have a rendezvous, darling. Acapulco.
New Year's Eve. Now yours, Joan. Across the stems. X marks the spot where a lovely moment was captured. How do I love thee?
Let me count the ways.
Okay, darling.
Okay, darling.
Auf Wiedersehen.
Ready, Dan?
Oh. Yes, Steve.
We're docking.
I've some final packing to do, Joan. Be seeing you.
Don't forget.
Coming, Steve. Coming.
And if God choose, I shall but love thee better after death.
I stood beside Joan, supporting her lightly as we awaited our turn at the gangplank. Joan kept straining and craning to see Dan, and then all at once she spied him.
There he is, Dr. Duncan. I just want to wave goodbye once more. Dan!
Joan, take it easy. Relax.
Oh, dear, he doesn't hear me. Dan! Doctor,
Are you all right?
he's handcuffed. He's handcuffed to that man, Steve.
Well, I didn't tell you, but you see, Dan happens to be a detective.
Why didn't you tell me?
Well, I was...
Well, why didn't he tell me?
Joan, you're exciting yourself.
Oh, it's the other way around, isn't it? Steve is a detective. He's taking Dan away.
Please, Joan.
I remember now. The way he looked at San Quentin. With death in his eyes. He's going to die. Dan!
Joan, come back.
Dan, wait! Dan, wait for me.
Hold it, Steve.
You want to see her?
Hide the handcuffs. Stand close and pull down your sleeve.
Dan, darling.
Joan. Not Joan. We said goodbye. We'll meet again.
Oh, I know. But I saw you from the deck.
Joan, you shouldn't have done this.
I had to. I wanted to say goodbye.
But we said goodbye.
I wanted to say it again. Oh, goodbye, Dan.
Goodbye, Joan.
I'll be seeing you.
Let's go, Dan.
Take care of yourself. Oh, Dan!
From the deck, I saw Joan turn half about, fall to her knees. And then the crowd gathered about her, and I dashed down the gangplank to be at her side. Will someone be good enough to call an ambulance? She's dead.
Father. It's time, my son. I'm ready, Father. You will have courage, my son. I will have courage, Father. Shall we go? Remember not, O Lord, we beseech thee, the sins of his youth, nor of his ignorance. But according to thy great mercy, be mindful of him in the greatness of thy glory. Delicta juventutis, et ignorantius eius, quae sumus nemenimeres Domini, sed secundum magnum misericordiam tuam memoris Dominius in gloria caritatis tuae,
Acapulco. It was almost midnight, that solemn moment just before the new year. I stood alone at the bar, having no one to drink with and no patient to take care of, thinking, well, you may very well know what I'd be thinking of that New Year's Eve. And then something happened.
Senor, be more careful, yes?
Careful?
Well, you break the glasses on the bar.
Why, I didn't touch those glasses.
No? Then who, eh?
I looked at the bar, at the shattered remains of 2 broken cocktail glasses, stem over stem, forming the letter X.
Senor, if you did not break those 2 glasses, who did? There is no one else here.
That's where you're wrong.
Senor?
Very wrong, indeed.
One-Way Passage was presented through the courtesy of Warner Brothers, producers of the Technicolor comedy The Inspector General, starring Danny Kaye. William Powell appeared by arrangement with Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer, producers of the Technicolor musical On the Town, starring Gene Kelly, Frank Sinatra, and Betty Garrett. Included in tonight's cast were Peggy Dow as Joan, Stephen Dunn, Ted Von Elst, John Daner, Don Diamond, and Frank Barton. One-Way Passage was adapted for radio by Milton Geiger, and original music was composed and conducted by William Lava.
For our final story, we travel to the far reaches of China with Gregory Peck in The Keys of the Kingdom. A Scottish priest embarks on a lifelong mission, facing poverty, disease, and war. But will his unwavering faith be enough to overcome the challenges ahead? And what legacy will he leave behind?
The House of Squibb presents the finest in motion picture entertainment, Academy Award. The House of Squibb, manufacturing chemist of the medical profession since 1858, bring you Academy Award. The pictures, the players, the techniques and skills which have won or been nominated for the coveted awards granted each year by the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences to each in his field for outstanding achievement. now E.R. Squibb & Sons, manufacturing chemist to the medical profession since 1858, bring you the dramatic picture The Keys of the Kingdom, which was nominated in 5 different classifications for the 1945 Academy Award. Our star tonight is the distinguished actor Gregory Peck. Mr. Peck will play the famous role he created on the screen for The Keys of the Kingdom, and in which he was nominated as Best Actor of the Year for the 1945 Academy Award.
This is the story of a man who served God in the way in which God wishes to be served, with humility. Of necessity, this is a short story of a long, full life, a vision into the heart of a priest swiftly blurring. In the eyes of God, this man might be a saint. In the eye of the church, memory of his works might not survive his modest epitaph, but in the hearts of some men, there was the certainty that he had received the keys to the kingdom of heaven. On a September evening in 1938, old Father Francis Chisholm welcomed a guest to the parish house of his little church near Tweedside in Scotland. This guest was Monsignor Sleeth, and his visit was occasioned by church business to investigate certain odd irregularities in the administration of Father Chisholm's parish. To the Monsignor, it was a foregone conclusion that this old priest would be removed.
Well, Father Chisholm, naturally I don't presume to be your judge. I can only submit my findings to His Grace the Bishop for his consideration in reaching a final decision. And now, if you don't mind, I will go to my room. I shall be leaving the first thing tomorrow morning, and I have still some work to do.
Would you be good enough to remind Angus, I mean His Grace, in your report that we were boys together?
The bishop has not forgotten that, Father. He spoke of it only last week.
Well, mention it to him again, will you?
Of course.
I shouldn't like to leave here if it could be helped.
Naturally. Good night, Father.
This is my native parish, you know.
Good night.
Monsignor Sleeth finished his report early that night, but found himself sleepless. Near his bed was a shelf of books and magazines. To relax, he sought to read, and idly, his hand found a worn leather notebook, a journal of the years of Father Chisholm. Sleep forgotten, he read on through the night.
It would be pleasurable to record that I became an immediate success as a priest following my ordination. Alas, the facts were quite otherwise. I failed dismally in my first 2 curacies. There seemed to be little promise of success in my next, or ever for that matter, when one day there came a summons from the new bishop and my guardian angel of old, Hamish McNabb.
Francis, to me you've never been a failure, and I think you never will be.
Well, thank you, sir.
But don't ask me why. I'm sure I couldn't say. But I haven't been able to take my eyes off you. And I can't help thinking that you're in the church. Not by chance, but for a reason. I don't want you ever to change. You understand, of course, that I say these nice things to you because I want you to do something for me.
Well, you've made it impossible for me to say anything but yes, your lordship.
Francis, the Society for the Propagation of the Faith has asked me to supply a volunteer missionary for China.
China?
Will you go?
Why, I'll be happy to go, your lordship.
I knew you would. And you'll be a credit to both of us. Come to see me again before you leave. We'll pray for you. Oh, wait. It's still raining. Here, take my precious umbrella. Take this with you, lad. It's a good thing to have. You never know when it's going to rain.
Knowing the greatness and glory of China today, it's difficult as I think back to picture what awaited me upon my arrival. After 10 days and 10 nights up the Tawang River in the province of Chekau, 1,000 miles from the sea, I found my mission, the blackened, ruined foundations. There were no converts, nothing but filth, starvation, and enmity. But in time, word of my presence spread, and from the hills came a few of the old converts to help me. Of these, one was a young Chinese boy who walked 18 miles to join me and help me rebuild the mission. His name was Joseph. He was a gift from God, a pillar of strength on whom I leaned. One day I heard his cart and then his cries for me to come out.
Father! Father Chisholm! Father Chisholm, it's for you! It's for you! It arrived on the boat.
What is it, Joseph?
Medicine.
Medicine? Here, let me see what's in that crate. Gauze bandages. Iodine.
Castor oil. Is it to rub on, Father?
Oh, no, it's to drink. Look at this, a leather case of surgical instruments. Joseph, put that down. Don't drink that castor oil.
Not bad. Have some, Father?
No, thank you. No, I'm not thirsty.
All these wonderful things. Such a treasure. Surely, Father, an angel in heaven must have sent it.
That's just what I was thinking, Joseph. Here's a letter. Your Holiness, it's amazing how religious you can make a man feel by fixing his bellyache. I'm sending you all of my secrets in a book of instructions. Cure what you can and kill what you can't. Signed, Willie Tillich, M.D. and Heathen. P.S. For practicing without a license, I shall, of course, report you to the British Medical Society, the Pope, and my Chinese laundryman, Willie.
Father Chisholm, look. We are indeed blessed. The servant of the Mandarin.
Please pardon my intrusion. I am here at the bidding of my cousin, the Mandarin, Mr. Chia. You will recall him?
Yes, I met him on my arrival.
I am to ask whether you will accompany me to his house.
And may I ask why?
His only son, Chia Yu, lies sick unto death. My cousin asks that you bring with you all your remedies.
Well, you must understand that I'm not a trained physician. I treat only the most simple disturbances.
You said that you came here to do good. Your blessings are for all alike. My cousin asks only that you bring whatever blessings and do whatever good you can.
Very well, I'll go with you.
There lies the boy. The lower humors have gained ascendancy and have flowed entirely into one arm, distending it and leaving it blue. You will examine the boy?
Yes, I'll need 2 basins, one of them with boiling water, and a cloth.
You intend to use the knife?
Yes, I must lance the wound.
It is most unexpected that Shen Fu would cut with a knife into the flesh of the boy.
Well, there's nothing else to do. His arm is filled with corruption. Unless it's removed, it might spread throughout his whole body.
Let us hope that corruption can be removed by cutting and squeezing. Let us hope that everything will be well.
Father, we are honored this afternoon. Look, it is Mr. Jia, the Mandarin.
Well, bid him welcome.
Shen Fu, I have come.
Mr. Chia, please, sit down.
Thank you. To speak of first things first, my only son, whose life you saved, is well. He is able to run with his friends.
I'm very happy to hear that.
I am sorry I have not come to you before, but now I am here.
Oh, why are you here, Mr. Chia?
Naturally, to become a Christian.
Have you come to believe in Christianity?
In time, I will no doubt accustom myself to it. You have done the greatest good for me. I must do now the greatest good for you. If I become a Christian, all the province will follow my example.
I'm sorry. I'm sure you mean well, but you would not be doing good for me, Mr. Chia. You do not believe, nor do you desire to believe. My acceptance of you would be a forgery for God.
Do you mean you reject me?
I mean precisely that. And please, do not feel that I wish ever to make any demands upon your gratitude. You owe me nothing.
I regret that I am not acceptable. I understand that this is so because I am unworthy. Nevertheless, perhaps there will be some way in which it occurs to me to ask, has Shen Fu ever looked or walked upon yonder hill?
Yes, often. It's the most beautiful part of the countryside.
The property is large in extent, more than 60 fields. It is called
the hill of brilliant green jade. It is mine.
I gathered as much.
I could not help but notice that the grounds and buildings of your mission are in a disastrous condition. I beg you to honor me by accepting as the property of your church the hill of brilliant green jade.
Mr. Char.
I beg further that you accept the use of 20 of my workmen and the materials to accomplish fully any buildings you may wish to carry out.
Mr. Chill, my heart is too full to thank you. Let's hope that tomorrow will be as nice a day as this, Joseph. The sisters will be here. Selfishly, I imagine that in the years I've been away, I've come to long for the companionship of someone from home. You know, their private terrace needs another batch of bricks.
Father can be proud of his workmanship.
We can all be proud. This is the work of all of us. This is where the children will learn. Here is the heart of our future. For the future belongs to the children, and our children will belong to God. I shall want the children dressed in their finest and ready at 7 in the morning. We must... Joseph!
Father, the sisters have come by themselves.
Well, Father, one might have supposed some welcome at the end of 6,000 miles of travel.
Well, please understand, the letter from Monsignor Mealy, said distinctly that you were to arrive on the 19th. That's tomorrow.
Will Father have us shown to our quarters? My two companions are sadly in need of rest.
But, sister... Yes, certainly. If you'll follow me, please. Reverend Mother, I'd planned, I thought perhaps we could all dine together tonight, by way of a special occasion.
Thank you, but I think not. If we could be spared some milk and fruit, after we have rested properly, we shall be fit for work tomorrow. Good afternoon, Father.
The years had brought us a fine mission and the blessings of success. They brought other things I should have known were inevitable. War. The Manchu forces of General May in the hills behind us, the Republican forces in the city before us. The Manchu cannon, which spread death and ruin into the city. Almost with the first cannon shot came my dear friend, Dr. William Tulloch, all the way from home. It was my place as a priest to help the dying. Dr. Tulloch went down into the town with me. We did what we could.
The sun's on its way up, and that blasted gun will soon go to bed. Another dawn is here. Another night is gone. I've fixed so many wounds, I'm going to write a book called 6 Days and Nights in the Chinese Abdomen.
Hey? Oh, I must have dozed off for a minute.
Well, I can't see why, seeing you've had no sleep for almost a week. Why don't you leave today's wounded to the army and me? Go on up the hill and get yourself a bath, and 400 winks.
That would be a pretty sight. The man of God taking his ease, safe from harm.
Oh, this is no time to worry about appearances.
Father Joseph!
Joseph, what are you doing here?
The mission. Last night they fired on the mission. How beautiful church, Father. No one was inside, but it is destroyed, eaten by fire. Some of the men were injured when we tried to save the altarpieces.
You men, tell the Major I'll be back. Come on, Francis. We'll run for it.
Keep down, Willie. Crawl, man. In the ditch.
All right. I'll crawl, Fancy.
Willie! Willie!
Sorry, Fancy. Seems the time has come to send for a priest.
Almighty God. Your mercy.
You're praying for yourself, Francie. Keep right on. If it's for me, you're wasting your time. And the Almighty's as well.
Well, we'll let him be the judge of that, Willie.
I'm deep in the shadow. And Francie, I still can't believe in God. Are you mad at me?
Of course not.
Are you disappointed that I won't let you save me?
Your salvation will be your doing, Willie, not mine.
And then, when you get to your kingdom, don't look for my name on the register.
It would be fun to meet, just by chance.
I've never loved you so much as I do now, Francie. For not trying to bully me into heaven. You see, I've such an awful headache. Give me your hand.
Out of the depths, I've cried to thee, O Lord. Lord, hear my voice. Let thine ears be attentive to the voice of supplication.
If I could get near the gun, Shen Fu, I would demolish it. But I cannot.
There is a way to get near it. For you, Major Shen, and soldiers of your Republican Army. I've been ordered to bring food and money to the captain in command of the gun tonight, before midnight.
Then, my friend, I must regard you as an undeserved gift from heaven. You understand exactly what is going to occur?
Yes.
In this sack is cordite. We must get it near the gun. You must be well away before I fire into it, or the concussion will be extreme.
I understand. We're near the gun now.
Halt! Oh, it is you.
Yes, I've brought a load of tin goods, which I hope will impress you. And I've brought money also. Put that sack over there.
Give me the money.
It's in my purse. I want some assurance that the mission will be unmolested.
The mission will not only be unmolested, but tomorrow we will occupy it and place it under protection, particularly the women.
But you gave me your promise.
Stop chattering, foreign devil, and give me the money.
Shen Fu, run! Save yourself!
The sack! Keep him away from the sack near the gun!
Oh, no, you don't talk!
Mr. Shen, run, I'll fire it!
Burning torch on it!
Run! Am I at the mission?
Yes, Father.
And the gun? Finished?
Yes, Father. It is finished. We are all well and safe.
And Senior Angus Mealy will be here to visit us in a few days on a tour of inspection. I thought you'd like to know, Reverend Mother, in case there's anything you wish to put before him.
I have only one request to make of him. I shall ask to be transferred to another mission. I feel that you upset my spiritual beliefs.
Why, I had no idea. I assure you that you must have misunderstood me. To which specific beliefs do you refer?
Do you think I have prepared a list? Your lack of doctrinal discipline, your general attitude. For instance, when Dr. Tulloch was dying.
Yes?
He was an atheist, and yet you seemed to indicate that he might have his eternal reward. He who didn't believe.
How could he believe? He never knew God. How could he reject a God he never knew?
He was not even a Christian.
And how do you define a Christian? One who goes to church one day of 7 and prays to be forgiven his sins of the other 6. God judges us not only by what we believe, but also by what we do. Willie Tulloch died as he lived all the days of his life, fighting the pain and suffering of other men.
He was a fine and a sacrificing man. But still, I cannot condone his denial.
Well, let's not make his memory the occasion of a quarrel. I wanted you to be happy here. I've looked forward to your coming. But I imagine I am difficult to like, and my ways may be a bit odd. You've worked so magnificently. The children love you. The mission will suffer terribly when you go, Reverend Mother. Good night. When Senior Mealy came finally, it was a blow to us that he could not celebrate Mass in our beautiful church. He seemed sorely disappointed, too.
I cannot see how you're going to rebuild your church, Francis. The society cannot let you have the money.
I haven't asked for it.
If only you'd been more successful with some of the better class Chinese, the rich merchants. If only your friend Mr. Chia had seen the light.
Well, he hasn't seen it, and he's given most generously. I shall not take another penny from him.
And of course, that's your affair. I must tell you frankly that on our chart, I'm sorry to say, your convert rate is the lowest.
I suppose missionaries differ in their individual capabilities.
Oh, surely no one doubts your capabilities, Francis. It's in the way you do things. Living personally in such poor style. Eating in the kitchen and all that. You ought to impress the natives, make more of a show.
The Chinese hate that kind of ostentation. And priests who practice it are regarded as dishonorable.
Oh, you refer to their own low heathen priests, I presume.
Heathens are not always low, just as Christians are not always high. Many of their priests are good and noble men.
Have it your own way, then. Good night, Reverend Mother. Good night, Francis.
Father Chisholm, I must tell you something. And it isn't easy for me. I want you to know that I am most bitterly sorry for my conduct. Believe me, no apology was ever more abject than mine. Nor has anyone been less worthy of forgiveness.
You needn't.
Please. Easier for me to speak now. How strange at this moment of my greatest humiliation should bring with it the only peace I've ever really known. Tonight I intended to ask Monsignor Mealy to send me away. But as I sat in this kitchen, as I heard him humiliate you and slight you, as I felt the magnificence of your faith and the courage in your heart, as I saw you reflect the worldliness of this priest who was unfit to tie your shoes. Have pity, Father. Forgive me. Pity me.
Well, there's nothing for which I have to forgive you. I'm glad you no longer dislike me. You know, we're both children to God. And with his help, we'll work and mature. How many years? 10, 20. Enough at any rate for me to know that I'd grown old in my exile. I was reminded of this everywhere I looked. Joseph, for instance, with 3 sons as old almost as he was in that dark hour when he first came to me. Mother Maria Veronica, my friend, all the others. Even the trees, gnarled and ancient as the ivy on the walls. The time had come for me to go home.
Good morning, Father.
Good morning, Monsignor. I hope you slept well.
As a matter of fact, I didn't sleep at all. Your journal was on the bookshelf by my bed, and I must confess that I spent the night in reading it. I hope you don't mind.
Oh, not at all. If anything, I'm flattered. I would have imagined that memories of a life as ineffectual as mine would guarantee sleep.
Ineffectual? It is an honor to know you, Father.
Goodbye, Monsignor. You won't forget to mention to Angus, I mean to his
There
grace.
is nothing I will say to the bishop that will in any way alter your position here or your hopes for the future.
Why, thank you.
And you, Father Chisholm.
My Father in heaven, thank you.
Gregory Peck is soon to be seen in David O. Selznick's Technicolor production, Duel in the Sun. This is Hugh Brundage bidding you good night until next Wednesday at the same time when you're invited to listen again to Academy Award, presented by the House of Squibb, a name you can trust. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
From the hunt for a priceless artifact to a poignant love story and a testament to unwavering faith, this episode of classic radio drama theater has offered a diverse range of human experiences. We hope these stories have captivated and moved you. Which tale resonated with you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. Until next time, remember, the greatest stories have the power to transport us to other worlds and other times.